Sup, tank nerds? Lottie here. Again, it has been a week of weeks, really. So yes, the thumbnail is not clickbait. They did drop our engine. Let's get straight into it. Here is our 3 3/16 Ford flathead V8 engine for the Brent gun carrier, because the other one that we have is 1, the wrong engine, and 2, actually has a broken block. So we got this one delivered, actually in pretty good condition, all things considered. It turns over. Peter is quite happy with it. Obviously it needs, a bit of refurbing, but considering, the cost of everything, very good. Problem, when the truck driver, I'll say this straight away, truck driver was a really good dude. He pretty much, even before we took it off, he said, yep, it's been dropped. They repackaged it, take a picture of it with my truck when you sign for it and everything, so we can do all the insurance stuff. So kudos to him. He was really good. Technically it's his job, so you should have done that, but when the bar is on the ground, anything is good. So as you can see, spot the difference. We've got a broken head bolt here. Before we took the head off, this was covered in concrete, these two. As in, what had happened is, as it had been lifted up by a forklift, or in some way, it had been dropped, and specifically dropped on this corner, breaking this head bolt. So that's gonna have to come out and get replaced, because obviously being a corner piece, we really need that to be good. This is gone. This is completely broken. It's all deformed in there. Yeah, no coming back from that one, so we're just gonna pull it off and replace it. The breather over here has been completely crushed and rolled over. I can't even lift that up. So again, that tells us that the engine has actually been dropped onto that corner and rolled over, which is amazing that they did that. And then they had the goal to try and tell us, oh, well, it's, policy that, if it's damaged in transport, blah, 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 blah. Nonsense. Here in Australia, consumer rights and consumer laws are really, really good. Regardless of what the carrier says, if it is damaged in transit, it is the carrier's responsibility. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're going to fight it, for sure. Peter's already on top of that. They're going to try and fight it, but legally speaking, you are in the right. So that was the start of the week. Now, if engine troubles couldn't get any worse, we have a Meteor V12 for a Centurion arriving sometime soon. A little bit later now, because they lost it. They've since found it, but they lost it for 2 whole days. Mind you, this is an engine bigger than my car. So, a little bit disconcerting. Moving on to more engine troubles. This engine, oh, by the way, this is the engine that originally came with it. Covered in dust at the moment, but yeah, there's a crack in there somewhere. Anyway, this engine is the engine from my Jeep project. Yay! Quick recap. Engine was supposedly the best, so there were 2 Jeeps. They were both pulled apart. Worst parts went to one Jeep, best parts went to another Jeep. We already restored the worst one, and it's now living off with someone else. Really good, everyone's happy. This one was supposed to be the good one. A friend of ours bought it, but it was bought under the premise that the engine and gearbox were basically brand new and everything was hunky-dory. He bought it, he got us to change the color on it. Engine leaked when I was driving it. Back of the gearbox leaked when I was driving it, and there's a slight knock in the engine. So that wasn't great, fortunately, because I'm doing a full respray of the Jeep. I have to pull the tub off and everything. We'll get into that in a second. But it basically means I gotta take the engine out regardless. So fine, whatever. It's still under warranty. We're gonna send the engine off to get done. We checked the gearbox. The gearbox is actually brand new. Like on the inside, looks fantastic. So thumbs up on that. However, the back of the output shaft seal here, wrong size. So it was just pissing out with oil. We're gonna get a new seal, put it on. We'll do that ourselves. We're just gonna get that done on warranty, because if I don't have to do it, because we are up to our name appendage in work, whichever appendage you want, we're up to it in work. So yeah, if I can get someone else to do that under warranty where I don't have to do any time or money investment, better for me. So I've already strapped it down to a pallet. They're going to pick it up and do whatever it is they need to get done with it. Groovy. Still not really happy with how everything's been going this week. What else? Oh right, forklift. Which is why everything is just so messy. You'll have to, I have to apologize for that. This forklift actually comes from next door. It's not our forklift over there. This forklift comes from next door neighbor. They said, yeah, could you have a look at it for us, please? And Peter's been doing all of this, so I'm not really caught too much up on it, but yeah, she's pretty bad. I mean, just look at those bores. Look at how damn shiny they are. For those not in the engine know, yeah, shouldn't be shiny. It just basically means oil can get past. There's your quick little lesson. They have been doing some stuff. Oil filters been changed. They've been adding oil, so that's good, I suppose. But this was just pissing out smoke. Not fantastic. So we've, yeah, pulled those out and everything. Really good. Yeah. Moving on to the Jeep. So last week you would have noticed that this Jeep was intact, and I've now completely broken it down. This is essentially what I'm going to be painting. I don't need to remove anything else beside the wheels for painting, obviously, so I'm just going to jack it up. I've already pressure cleaned it. We've got some groovy markings. People are going to be noisy over there. I also heard children were over there. Ugh. It's school holidays. They're everywhere. Little ankle biters. So yeah, wheels got to come off. I'll paint those separately. I've got to rough up the bumpers and making lots of noise, and the steering arm here. So I just got to rough it up so when I paint it, it's all good. The brakes should, I did drive it and it stopped in a straight line, which is quite rare for a Jeep. Yeah, I shouldn't have to touch anything else on the chassis, which is good. But I am going to have to go through the whole process of priming and painting. Oh, paint, right. Here's a good one for you. Our paint shop burnt down. Local paint shop burnt down. Cairns Wholesale Paints, they're having a way worse week than we are. So, yeah. Actually, I might put that in the title. I'll put that in the engine. Because, yeah, no, those guys, no fatalities or anything. Really good. That's the important thing. Everyone is safe and okay. It happened overnight. Sunday night, Monday morning. So yeah, on top of a really terrible Monday, engines and all that, found out that the paint that I need to paint the Jeep won't be ready for at least another 2 weeks or so, because they've got paint, but they can't mix anything. And because we're the troublesome group around here that we don't take anything off the shelf, we have to get all of our colors mixed. They can't do it. They need their scales and computers and all that sort of stuff. So not blaming them, it's outside of their control. It's just one of those weeks, you know. I'm going to be so happy for this weekend to just forget this week ever happened. Anyway, let's get back to the Jeep. So yeah, Chassis, all clean, all nice, all groovy. She's rolling fairly nice. Ooh, actually, that's interesting. And brakes might have locked on a little bit there, but again, I did wash it. There you go, learning real time. It did work, roll in pretty easily. I will check the brakes again regardless. There have been loose bolts through this whole process. I'd rather not give it back in a terrible condition. Here's all the rest of the Jeep stuff. Bonnet, grill, back seat, battery. Is that the battery for the Jeep? I think so. Yes. No. Battery's over there. I thought it was a bit too big. Oh, yeah, my car broke down this week. I fixed it. Wouldn't be much of a mechanic otherwise. But yeah, again, I've lost track of how much went wrong this week. Here's pretty much everything else. I am going to have to take it all out there, pressure wash it, sandblast what needs to be sandblasted. I'm probably going to have to empty the fuel. There's a little less than half, but still a significant amount of fuel in there. Gonna have to empty that or drain that. I can put it back in later, but I need to clean that, paint that, everything. We've got a new exhaust, which is good. Like that. No new muffler, sadly. I might actually look into getting a new muffler. We'll see. It doesn't need it. I am gonna have to repaint the radiator. It was the one thing that shouldn't have needed to be touched, and it's got green overspray all over it, which wouldn't be a problem too much if it was. That was a bit of wouldn't be a problem if it was going to be green, but this is going to be a desert Jeep, so any bit of green is going to show up, so we definitely do not want that. We'll go have a little walk-see to the tub. Oh no, quickly, we'll run over to the inside of the Carrier. Peter has been extraordinarily busy. It's fantastic. Pretty much the interior is done, at least on the face of it. We obviously need to add everything, like the engine, fuel tank. That's right, the battery goes, the big batteries for here. Put the radiator in and everything. Should all be good. Clean up a few little bits and pieces, but he's now moved on to the front. Steering wheel goes there, seat goes there, do all that sort of stuff. While we're talking about it, I will show all of his work. Say hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
This is all the stuff for the steering linkages. So steering wheel actually goes in there, it comes up pretty high. Accelerator, brake, clutch, all pretty groovy, but then there's a wicked complicated, not really complicated, but between all these. I've explained this a few times. I won't give you the full rundown, but basically it's a steering wheel mixed with what do you call it, like steering linkages from a tank, but it's all done with the steering wheel. So there's essentially 3 different things that need to talk to each other, and it's all through these arms, which Peter has been painstakingly cleaning and then priming, making all lovely and new. Had to create this whole angle bracket again because that's how it goes inside the driver's seat. Really good. And now we have arrived at the tub. Again, the bad news doesn't stop here. This was all green. As soon as I started pressure washing it, it all came off. It's better that it happens now while I'm pressure washing it. Doesn't mean I've got to now get rid of all of that little annoying stuff, because why not? And because people don't know how to paint. If you are painting anything and you have shiny, you're doing it wrong. Is it still attached? I should be able to just bend it down. There we go. So yeah, I need to pressure wash all of this side, but I will leave it as a quick reminder. Paint does not stick to shiny, even if it's clean and new and, you know, there's no oil on it or anything. Paint doesn't do shiny. Even if you primed it, the primer wouldn't stick to it, which they haven't even bothered with that. They've just gone straight to green. stupid. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rough all that up with a bit of emery paper or something, and then prime it, and then paint it. Yeah. And there's now bog. I've found bog everywhere. Not everywhere. I shouldn't be too whatever. This has been repaired once in its life. It's fine, actually. I think they just did this because there's a little bit sort of deformed under there. It provided no more actually comes off. I should be able to just blend that in with the primer and the paint, because we obviously need to do more than a few layers. Likewise, the dash has some bog in it there. Look, it's all stuff to be done. I'm just bitching. After a week like this, I need an outlet, and unfortunately you guys are my outlet. I do this for the love of it. Yeah, there you go. Bam. Oh, there we go. Now I've got the sun into my face rather than blinding you guys while I walk backwards. Yeah, I'm gonna stop walking now. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. If you are very curious, the Steel Aces open beta, I'm just going to shamelessly plug it. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow. As of right now, yes, I'll be streaming tomorrow the Steel Aces open beta. That is, for me, Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can just work backwards from there. It'll be from 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm not waking up at 2 a.m. because it's a Friday night and I'm going to stay up and play video games of my own. So whatever. But I'll probably be up at like 6, 7 o'clock, whatever. So yeah, feel free to tune in on that. Eventually, I'm probably just going to make the like gaming stuff a completely separate channel. But just because I'm still figuring it out, yeah, by all means, come and join me tomorrow. That is Saturday. I think it's the 3rd of October. I don't even know what day it is. They're all terrible. Yes, Saturday. Call it 6, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time until however long I feel like doing it for. Yeah, I'll see you then. This has been a ramble by Lottie the Tank Whisperer. Leave a nice little comment down below telling me about your worst week in restoration history. It's probably going to be way worse. Again, this, on the grand scheme of things, this wasn't really a bad week. It's just one of those weeks where you don't have the energy to accept that it was a good week. It was just a bad week. Average. The paint place had it worse. I will see you on the next one. Bye!